Welcome to another video review from Tomopop.com. Once again, you are listening to Pedro Cortez, and I'm here to bring you something that I have been looking quite forward to seeing for a while. You may have seen some of the reviews in the past. You know that I'm fond of robots. I like them in all sizes and shapes and stuff, and one of the best lines of posable robots out there is the Chogokin line. And the folks over at Hobbyland Japan were very nice, and they sent me what you see here, Aegis from Persona 3. Now, you may be a little kind of burnt out with Aegis. I mean, she does get a lot of attention, but, I mean, looking at her, I think this is going to be quite a nice figure, and if you stick around, you're going to get some nice shots of her. Alright, first things first, we have Aegis's box. Now, the box is a little bit smaller than I was expecting. My experience with the previous Super Robot Chogokins I've gotten my hands on, they're quite hefty. I mean, they fit a larger, robot in there. So, just because it's a small box doesn't necessarily mean anything, but for the sake of comparison, that is a 3-inch Vinylmation, so you can see it's not huge, but, nice things come in small boxes, small packages, so I'm not going to make any sort of judgments. We'll take Kermit out of the way there, and we'll give the box a little spin here, keep it from falling. You see, got Aegis looking serene on the side there. And here are some shots of some of the effect parts, the different expressions, little bits of detail which you'll see when I take her out of the box as she's standing with her base and her support. An action shot. And we're back to the front. So now that you see what the box looks like, let's take her out. Let's see what she looks like in action. Okay, so starting off here with Aegis, man, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be showing you. You'll notice right away that there isn't a base here, but she does include a base. So how do I have her standing up? Well, if you notice a little white tip right here, there's a little nub, so that if you do want to pose Aegis without her base, you could just have her standing with just the support there. I guess this could be good for some people, but really, if you want to take advantage of a really good posable figure, you're going to need a base. So, I mean, we'll start off here that, you can have her just standing on her own, but that kind of limits what you can do with her. I mean, you can't really do stuff like this. Now, with the base, you can have her diving off to the side and put on some of the extra accessory parts. And let me tell you, like I said earlier, there are a lot of parts here. We got at least 4 sets of hands, including her stock ones, 4 faces, including her stock faces, several different guns and little things popping in. And as you can see here, she's got a big old fist, but it's not just any old fist. It's a... Oh, that's right. It is a spring-loaded rocket punch, which I think is one of the better accessories that this figure has. And let's switch around a bit, and I'll keep talking about Aegis here. And here we got her rifle attachment gone to her right hand. See, I moved her around a little bit, got her off, tilting off to the side and more on her feet. And you'll notice that the joints can really move pretty far, which is really impressive considering some of the limitations of posable figures like Graveltex and Figmas. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so I'm a little closer. I'm going to spin her around a little bit so you get to see. You'll notice that the joint here has several parts. Besides having what looks to be like brass, it isn't brass, but it has a nice shiny part to it. You could move it as such, but here, and you'll notice it a little more in the pictures, is an extendable section that lets you get a fair amount of wide movement. Like I said, nice little detail and makes it way more posable than something cheaper, as I said, like a Figma or a Reveltech. And like I said, this is a little pricier than that, but, for the quality you're getting, I mean, it's completely worth it, and especially if you like the character, and you can put down. Ooh, a little dangerous there. Let's not point that at the camera. Let's point it off to the side here, and her head can look off here. You get a lot of neat little poses. A little bit of difficulty with the left arm, but I think it's just it being new. Move it here. Alright, so with that shown, let's get another bit of a couple accessories in there. Okay, so I switched out her rifle for kind of a Metroid-looking cannon, and I switched out her left hand for kind of the bullet, little finger pistol bullet things that she has in the game. Like I said, a lot of different accessories, and I also switched back to her happy face because I like a happy Aegis. And one thing that's also impressive, like I said, this isn't necessarily like brass or die-cast, but like it's hefty. Like it has a good feel to it. It's not wispy. It doesn't feel like it's going to break in your hands, like I said before. And also when you're taking apart her headpiece, which I'm not lock the light there for you. Here, like, you can actually feel that it's a sturdier piece, that it's not something that you're going to lose or that will snap in your fingers when you're taking it apart. Little other details that I like about her head, like I mentioned earlier, her hair, it'll look like it's just two-toned. It looks like this is blonde, this is kind of like a darker yellow, but it's actually a gradation that you'll notice from the back. Or you may not notice it. You'll notice it in the photos, but as I spin, you also get a good shot of her back here. It starts back here, it goes lighter, and then it goes up to the front where it switches back to the darker yellow. And just, you know, just like the usual kind of posable figures, this plugs into her back and you can move it up or down. Have her go there, have her go side to side like I mentioned earlier. Now you can have her doing a happy jaunt off into the distance. And that's it for this review. And I mentioned earlier that she's a little pricier than your normal Figma, so she's going to be coming in at about 5,000 yen. You can find her on sale, make it just a little bit cheaper. So you're looking to pay somewhere along the lines of about $55, $56, depending on how nice the yen feels like exchanging in the beginning of the day. She is quite lovely, I gotta say. It really makes me look at other posable figures and makes me think twice. I mean, the Chogokin line has a great reputation, and as you can see in how I saw, I mean, it earns it. So in the future, when I look at new posable characters or robots or something, I really have to wonder, like, oh, is there going to be a Chogokin later on? Should I save my money for it? Because this is quite nice, and it's definitely worth the scratch if you can get your hands on it.